Here they come.
That's it.
Party started.
Hello, 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 and welcome once again to our How To session. Thank you for being here, Doria. Thank you for being here, Jorge. Uh, and we have Johnny in the waiting room. People are coming in, so we'll take the time to gradually warm up to the conversation. As usual, this is our How To sessions where we cover subjects around marketing, best practice, fundamentals, where we grow and become better at what we do. For this session, I am your host,
He didn't
Virgile.
say that.
I'll be stepping in as your marketing consultant and brand success manager. Hey, Daria. And I am joined with my co host, the Blakester. Hey, that's your cue.
Good
Um,
morning, everyone.
Perfect. I hope you all had a great beginning of the week. I sure did. And I want to share that energy with everybody. It's all about mind state. Um, Usually we start by covering questions, if there are any, around the use of Now Site, as we all have access to the tool, even if we're using other tools. So we'll start with that. If you have any questions, concerns, things that you came across using Now Site that you want to bring forward, we can start with that. Otherwise, we'll continue on the process that we've been covering over the past weeks at mapping our process before we really dive into our CRM masterclass. By the way, I sent an email notification for the masterclass taking part this Saturday. Oh, sorry, Friday, sorry, the 18th. I will be following up with the course outline as well. So keep an eye on your emails. And for now, we'll open the floor with possible questions and then continue on with our learning curve. So, any questions specific to the use of Now Site or any general marketing question that you may have on online approach, we can open the floor with that, or we will dive into more clarity behind what it means to map our process beforehand. Any questions?
I
So
like
we'll
the
auction
idea
it.
of clarity.
Clarity, yes. Clarity is so fundamental in everything that we do. Um, Again, a lot of the things that I'm bringing to the table now have been in the back of my mind. But as I said, taking this new course into manufacturing and production chain has me rediscovering these principles in what we do in Now Site. One of the things that came to mind this week is that in the manufacturing industry, they are automating or trying to automate the process as much as they can. And what are we doing here in network marketing with AI? It's all about automation, right? But even in these large scales industry, before they look at automating their process, they map them out. And that's important. A lot of the time we come into this exercise knowing where we want to go, but not having counted our steps, map out which what happens at each node of our journey. And this is important. So first we'll auction out the question as we usually do. Going once for any question, general question on marketing, going twice, going three times, sold to silence. As usual, again, you'll be able to tap in during the course of the conversation if something comes to mind. So we will begin with a small recap. I think it's important so that we can proceed properly or keep the same frame of mind that we started building for the past two sessions. So we came to understanding that whatever we are doing, our business operation and our client experience will tend to follow these different steps. Whether we come in, for example, in this business at the point of sale, and often enough that happens in our affiliate networking industry. We are giving a all-in-one ready to start business, and we're introduced to the urgency of completing the sales so that we can start benefiting from this investment, from this endeavor. And often enough, the responsibility of our coach, of our mentor, is actually to bring us down these steps, helping you set up the process, the business, understanding the process, setting up our service if there are more services that we want to offer, bring them back, or the service around the point of sale and the client support that follows the community that we're building. Same goes with the client experience journey. It follows in tandem with the sequence, or they are heavily influenced by the process or the setup, the way we caress the interest of our customers, of our client, of our audience is based on the way we set up or have defined our business throughout the branding, the process, right? So this is important. Now, one of the things that we also came to understand is that even if we decide to have multiple offers or services, this general business process mapping will still hold, in a sense that in the case of services, if we have more than one services or product, well, our general business mapping process will just fan out into different legs, each adhering to the product, to the client, to the service, but also following the general client experience journey that we have set up. We also came to understand how this relate across our process and our process, right? We also, and I didn't put this document available yet, so I'll put it right after the course so that you can get it. We also started looking at what this entails at a first glance in our email setup, in our email strategy, right? We usually are following the steps that adhere to our sales flow or these five basic email type campaigns: the welcome campaigns, the onboarding campaigns, the care and inquiry campaigns after we completed the sale, the community campaign, so that we can keep this community or build a stronger bond between the customer base that we are creating for ourselves. And we usually have a newsletter format that allows us to close certain gaps in our flow of conversation or our process. We also came to understand that depending on what we are doing at each stage, the steps between these processes can expand a little bit. Last time when we discussed this, Rita brought about a conversation that we put in imagery, the qualification process. A lot of our opportunities or some of our opportunities follow certain qualification steps. In the mapping of our process, what happens is that between the interest and the conversion, we have introduced a series of steps, right? For example, if the client is interested, I need to bring in into the discovery call, have that exchange, understand if I can help them. And in the case of a financial exchange, if the client can actually accept the cost that I'm offering, if the process or the product is not presented automated for that process, for that part of the conversation. But depending on what you're doing between interest and final conversion, you might be adding a few more steps here. Are you interested? Yes, send me your bill, for example, for an assessment. Send me your brand booklet for an assessment. Send me your description service for a discovery call so that I can come back to you with a first assessment, bringing you into the next step, the conversion. And in a way or another, we usually have this process in the back of our mind, right? How does this equate to what we are doing in our CRM? This is important as well to start understanding and start mapping. So I'm going to go to the next slide here. We're going to break down this journey a little bit so that we better understand what is happening from the client introduction to the conversion. right? We usually in our sequence are looking at these two first emails. The welcome, thanking the client for its interest, or it could be also the cold email that we're sending out to bring the client interest in. Note I added a few gray boxes here just to show you how this relates to our business process. Coming back to the conversation that we started with, if my qualification process, my conversion process, I would say, requires a qualification process, so step by step before the client is ready to convert, then this onboarding email will take on a different tone or different intention. In the sense that onboarding can happen before the billing or after the billing. Case in my own, in the sense that I offer service that are based on assessment. And before I can actually go to the next part, which is the invoicing, I need to confirm that we're going the right track. I need to be able to have a few exchanges with this client, at least at this stage, to evaluate how I'm going to roll out my offer. And this is important to understand because one of the things that we also came to note is that we will be using different CRMs, or at least the CRM will have different functions. One will be the marketing approach. The other one would be the conversion process, right? In a case where we are provided an opportunity that has this built in, then these points, we don't necessarily keep them in mind, but they're happening. Following the service offer or the opt-in, there is an email that's going to go out, the invoicing, right? Once the invoice is sent out and the client does pay, well, there is a process of billing or finalizing the billing or confirming that that step has been taken, especially if we're looking at a multi-level or multi-step type entry process where you pay an introductory fee. And if you're interested, we send you a bigger invoice for a larger service description and such, right? Remember last time in the process, I also hinted at the fact that some of our process at first will be automated for mass rollout. Some won't necessarily be at the beginning when we're building that strategy or consolidating the client's relationship, right? Coming back to this the previous slide here, where we're looking at this part, right? Where the relationship is being created, where the brand is being experienced, and the relationship is being consolidated. Depending on how you have set up your process, this might be something that is done manually, or at least at the beginning, for you to build that strategy to eventually automate it. So far, so good? Any questions? Any concern? Does that make sense? Pushback? We should have some, at least, since this is one of the hidden topic of concern that we always hint at when we seem to be talking about the prospect journey.
I don't think
I
that
introduced.
I don't think they're going to get any pushback because we're all listening intently on what you're explaining because it does make sense. And this is the
Mhm,
part that a lot of people really don't get, especially those of us that have been in now side for some time. When, whenever you got that one client in there into your CRM and it said one of eight, there was a reason that it said one of eight, right? A lot of us
mhm,
didn't know that, okay, well, here's the second attempt. Instead of building rapport, maybe we would go to, the next phase, or instead of connect, go to build rapport and then so on and so forth, right? So
mhm.
this is great information. No pushback.
Absolutely. And this also could feed into the knowledge of what we're meant to do when we're looking at our CRM activity. For example, I'm just going to go to the CRM, the contacts, one second here. I'm going to bring my contact up because often enough, for example, we have this conversation around how we properly use our rollouts, our follow-up tools, right? Well, in this space where you are able to send an individual email, and just share my screen here. So, and this I'm taking now side as an example because it has this extension of the email that we're going to be using, or the email interface. So when you're in this space, yes, some of these processes are automated with the campaign. Some are directly rolled out to the client. And based on that, this is when these tools will come in hand, right? The automation will help you. The rotation, the follow-up will guide you into, okay, well, this is the next step that I'm on with this client. We did the discovery, we did the exchange, we did the presentation. I'm going to roll out a specific email to him, catering to his needs and the proper invoice. And this is also when our tracking tools are important. Because if I'm involved in this process, again, of invoicing the client, of following up with the billing confirmation, this is when this hot link tool becomes important, right? We use hot links to see when the client responded by interest to our conversation when we're soliciting them. But even more so, this feature becomes important when we're billing somebody. Your invoice has been prepared. Your service offer has been completed. Here's a link. Take a look at it and let us know if you have any questions so we can proceed with the next part, the final billing point, the transaction. Right? And this is important. If the client clicks on it, then I know he acknowledged it. Since in the matter of closing the deal, we want to hit the iron while it's hot, then knowing when the client clicked is important. I can give him another 24 hours. And if I don't get a follow-up, then I'm going to come back to him. Right? So remember, when you're mapping out your process, you have to correlate it to your tools, your strategy, and also the client journey. At the beginning, it can feel a little confusing, not confusing. I was going to say that, but not, because if you have asked yourself the right question, then remember, we do the thinking, AI does the work. We can go back to AI and structure, embellish, and clarify our process, but we have to come in with that in mind. Otherwise, AI might build a process for us that we are not necessarily ready to apply. And again, my big concern, or my fundamental guideline in this space, especially that we want to remain agile. It means what? We're active and we're able to adapt. And to do so, there is one important value: how we scale our process, how we scale our business, how we scale our actions. Very important. Go ahead, Robert.
I just want to quickly mention too, and those of you that are on my team and in my coaching, you might remember when I gave you that presentation where it was blanks. Remember that, Rita? Like, hi, my name is blank. I'm just blank. Like, that presentation in direct marketing is actually geared towards those objectives that are there on the left-hand side, to do all of those things, to be able to build rapport, present, connect, all of that stuff while you're doing that presentation. And it's typically going to come from you piquing that person's interest and then them saying, well, what do you do? That's exactly what you want people to say. Well, what is it that you do? If you go into your presentation using those elements, it'll do all that stuff for you. This is how you'll be able to close people on the first meeting if you're meeting them in person and they're asking you what it is that you do. So just wanted to say that.
And that, for
I
example,
yield.
oh, thank you. Thank you for adding more fuel to this, because that is a direct example or application of mapping out your process. Right there, verbally, he mapped out, okay, this is what's going to happen. What if this happened? These are the questions that we're forcing you to ask. And this process of using blocks with names defining functions department or AI assignment is how you build your roadmap. As simple as that. Right? A lot of these simple squares at one point will amount to a very large picture and a very elaborated, scaled process. And you yourself will know the journey that you took to assemble these blocks. Right? It's this new AI age has me thinking or feeling like a kid playing Lego blocks. Right? How do I build a castle with these blocks? With these nodes, right? There's also idea of blockchain or block work. It's starting to make sense because these are functions. AI serving certain functions, and it comes back to the greater intent that Now Site had behind their AI use, having a team of AI working in tandem to achieve your goals. And these teams will be in the business process, in the service process or setup, and so on and so forth. You have to now understand, step in as the manager of these process, of these work groups. Go ahead, Lisa.
I'm trembling inside. I
I hope
need
not a fear.
of, oh my goodness. I need, all right, two things. I have redone the video with the Corvette.
Nice.
I'd love to share it with you.
We'll take a look at it, that's for sure.
Not, okay. Also, I have to show you what I woke up to today when I opened up YouTube. And I don't know, can I share my screen?
Go ahead. Let me stop the sharing on my side here. There you go. You should be able to share. Take us through the journey.
So we're at the end of the journey. I'm going to show you the end of the journey first because, but I need help to share.
Take your time. That's also a very great starting point. When you're engineering something that you're not sure, starting by the end can allow you to count your step back to the initial zero, where this should have started or would have started in your mind. Go ahead. Groove Asia Leader Unit.
I woke up to this today. I'm doing a training tomorrow night, and they've made this thumbnail, and I'm like, okay, it's real.
Nice.
So Peter has given me carte blanche to share anything that I want, or to promote anything that I want.
Good.
And I'm thinking I have to promote my 90-day transformation because, that's what I've been building. It's my offer. It's it. So I now have to redo the video with a different end screen. So I don't think I shared with sound.
I like the metaphor of the car in this conversation because we are traveling a road and that requires a mapped out destination. But go ahead. Yes, sorry.
So this is the 2.0 of the journey.
I like. Anybody wants to drop a comment on that?
I'm talking.
Bravissimo.
and
Ah,
such.
yeah, easy. Mo.
Um,
I like how you followed up on the
she-
community's advice and feedback on what came before and added these short but powerful statement to the video. And that also, at closing, even at opening, will have its impact. We're taking them on the journey and we're also giving them a sense of responsibility. I like it. This one, most likely, when you add the finishing, we'll have the conversation, the direct invitation for tomorrow, you said.
Tomorrow night.
Yeah. So you got your clock in front of you, lined up. That's good. How many? Oh, in terms of a process, and this is actually a good question. Between now and tomorrow, where you have to deliver this product, um, how long will it take for you to finalize this new rendition or rendition or use of this video asset?
Oh, what I'm going to do is instead of inviting them to my weekly at the end, total
Mhm.
transformation, I'm going to invite them to the faith, fitness, freedom webinar. And I have a thumbnail for that.
Mhm.
But okay, so here's my conversation with ChatGPT this morning. All right,
Mhm.
stand by, buckle up. So I gave it a video, an image.
Okay.
Look what showed up on my YouTube. And I said, I've been given a tremendous opportunity to speak live on the world stage via this Groove Asia event. I've been given carte blanche to promote any product, blah, 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 blah. Am I ready to launch this? Chat says, Dr. Lisa, yes, you are ready. I
Good.
knew it would be encouraging. And the Groove Asia opportunity is absolutely divine timing. I think my Chat GPT is saved. I'm just saying. For for a powerful public launch, let's break it down. Why you're ready. Ready. So I have my messaging locked in. I'm positioned as an authority. I have momentum. I have an engaged ecosystem, including you guys. Thanks for being in my engaged ecosystem. I've built the runway. The event is liftoff.
Perfect.
How to position. I got to tweak this. And it gave me an action plan checklist, mini.
Mhm.
That scares me a little bit. And a little encouragement. It's not perfection, it is transformation. So this is my checklist, but it's exactly what you're teaching. It's about the customer journey, right?
Absolutely. Now, I'm going to throw a curveball in this because is this the complete document that it gave you?
Uh, just this one conversation from this morning.
This one conversation? Because what I want you to do next, okay, and this is in sequence to what we're doing and what I saw and what we're discussing. We have this great offer, 90 days. We have the stage for it. We have the invitation that allows us to leverage this offer to a grand audience. We technically have discussed all this, but the one question, or sorry, let me go back to the other slide here. So we technically have discussed all this, but there's one thing that I want to understand, especially if time is of the essence and this is rolling out tomorrow. What are we looking at in terms of conversion process? Meaning, does the offer come with just an enrollment opt-in interest so that later on we will go back to the conversion process with the client? Or does the offer, especially if it's going to be made to a grand audience, alive, where we have the pulse of the interest and of the client's attention beating, the ideal moment to make that closing pitch? Are we going in there with a point of sale as well? Right? Because 90 days, we have an offer, we have an opt-in, we should have also point of sale, right? My question becomes, coming back to what we were discussing, and this is where I want you to have that question put forward to the AI. How does the campaign should be organized around this offer, this event, and the conversion? Right? This is now the question that I have in mind, strong of this conversation and in line with our process. You have a great offer, you have a great presentation, you have a platform for it. Tomorrow, what happens? Because in the end, in our business setup for this event, we have everything in terms of, well, how would we market this product? How will we present it? How would it be rolled out? The first leg. Tomorrow is a point of sale type environment. What are my tools?
Okay, so
Which billing system are you using for it? Or did you think?
I can show you better,
Perfect.
I think. Hold on.
Is it something that is automated or something that you've built while you're bringing it up?
Uh, uh, I don't know how to answer that question.
Okay, show me.
There's
Even better.
Is
there's a
it
bit of
PayPal?
automation.
Do you use Stripe? Are you sending them to a website? Are you taking Cash App, Venmo?
Stand
How
by.
you getting the money, Dr. Lisa? How you getting the money?
We're not at the
That's
money yet. We're at the lineup call. We're at the qualifying call. We're on the qualifying
qualifying
lap.
call. Okay, so then you answered my question. With your process, and it's important to keep that in mind. For your process, what we're looking at is the space in between the interest and the conversion. We're going into that qualification steps or these qualification step to get to that billing offer, correct?
Yes. So
Perfect.
there's
Perfect.
a fast track call. There's a paid strategy call.
Mhm.
So the fast track call is 15 minutes free, and we will offer the paid strategy call. And then we have,
Perfect.
if they, and the paid strategy call is $1,000. If they say
Perfect.
no to the $1,000, we'll nurture them, their options for what we can do as bonuses or downsells or whatever. Now the paid call is the
Mhm.
$1,000, and
Okay.
that's leading into the $5,000 coaching program. And if they say yes to the 5,000, the 1,000 goes towards their first payments of the
Okay.
5,000. If they say no, they will get a recording of the call. They will get the roadmap that we make, their customized plan to get where they want to get. And so a lot of value. But
Mhm.
the questions we ask for that call is, what's your confidence level that if we implemented what we covered, you can get your results in the next 90 days? High, right? Because it's badass.
Mhm.
What's your confidence level that you can get there on your own? Low. Would you like us to help you? I'd love for you to help you. And that's when we say, okay, well, our coaching program is 4997 plus any extras. And the good news is we'll invest this $1,000 towards your program.
Okay.
But this is the roadmap.
Okay.
So it's a 9-step program, and we've got action steps for each of the 9 steps. So, and what is really making me crazy, but I love it, is I'm making apps.
Okay.
So there's a written version of this, but there's also an online version where they can score themselves on each step and find out where they need extra help. And, they can basically, they can emphasize what they want to emphasize, or, revisit what they need to revisit. There are multiple ways of getting any step done, but
Okay.
everyone has to go through those steps.
Okay. So I like
But
the
I do
journey
have
that
Stripe. I do have Stripe, Robert.
ah that was the question that we were waiting for, because that opens up into different also conversation, right? Because so far, and I like the presentation that you gave us. Why? Because it aligns and demonstrates a lot of what we've been discussing, right? In the sense that we spoke about the offer, we spoke about the alternative offer, we spoke about what happens if the client does or don't, and that's important, right? All that it was important. It is basically the meat of our greet. This is when what we offer as substance when we greet the client the first time, when we greet their conversation, their necessity, that discovery process, right? So even everything that you explained to us is still putting us in this first process. We are welcoming, we are onboarding, and through the onboarding process, we are qualifying for the service, explaining the process, and also giving documentation to support the offer, right? Since you mentioned Stripe, it means what? That now, once we have passed this stage, we are now looking at a conversion tool. It means what? You're going to be accessing Stripe, and you're going to be looking at the interaction, the options that it gives you. If your product is a digital product, then the payment will generate a download, which kicks off a series of steps or conversation, right? Most likely in your case, the service offer will follow, will proceed, or will be sent in tandem with the Stripe link, the income stream link. And remember that I've been hinting at this value a lot through the conversation around our assets, right? If we go back to the logic behind looking at the end point of this journey, at least in this process, and how we're going to reverse engineer this conversation, we understand the passion with which you were met when Robert started asking, well, Lisa, where's the money? Show me the money, right? I'm going to send them to Stripe to complete the transaction. But before they get there, this is what will need to happen. I need to evaluate them so that what I send them is an invoice with the proper cost so that they can go to Stripe and complete that action. If I'm sending them to Stripe with a specific invoice, then it means that there's also a service outline catering to their need, right? So the billing confirmation, the client care review, the follow-up booking offer will take on a different conversation. Confirming against one thing that we need to sediment in our mind. The CRM that we use often enough will have different functions or will need to take on different function. Some of these function will be automated. Some of these function, we will control the process. Make sense?
Absolutely.
Perfect. As it is, sorry, go ahead, Robert. You had your hand to time in.
So all that being said, and it looks great and all that fun stuff, and I'm very proud of what you've done. But the reason I asked is, do you have a website that you're sending to an actual system, or are you just saying, "Give me your email and I'm going to send you an invoice"?
Well,
Dr.
I
Lee.
think, I think, I think at this level, Dr. Lisa, with all the asset that she has created, we can safely assume, not making an ass out of anybody,
Well,
but
I'm
we
not
can
assuming
safely
anything. That's why I'm
assume.
asking her. Do you have a
That's good.
website
Okay.
ready, Dr. Lisa? The
All
reason
right.
I'm asking this is because if you're talking on stage tomorrow and you have an offer, where are you going to send them to? Like, do you have an offer page?
Uh, no, I'm going to build that
Oh
today.
my.
Okay, I was going to say
Now,
that's what needs to happen
but
right
listen, no,
away.
this is what I do have. All right. And a part of this is because I'm doing this with a partner.
Mhm.
And so wait, so I need to tweak the offer page because I have had the funnel, I've had a webinar funnel for this that leads to a free call.
Cool.
So I do have that.
That's all I
And
was wondering.
yeah,
So that makes it easier when you're on stage if you say the right things and um, sell in advance
yeah,
and then drop the course on them. You should have people that would pick it up right away.
right. So I'm working on revising the slides of the actual webinar and, tightening up the offer at the end. So
Awesome.
that's in progress.
Good job, girl.
She once we get to that call, my thinking is we will actually handle the transaction while we're on the call with them. But both Coach Judy and myself have, um, you know, she's got a full website and I have a full website with the for my part of it, which is the testing, the facial scan, the I call it the pit stop, the VIP pit stop.
Mhm.
Uh, there'll be four of those along the way, and then we'll do weekly coaching, and I mean it's going to be great.
Okay.
But
Coming, that was actually,
but
I want to
my
time in. Sorry.
go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, no, go ahead. I was going to time in on something that Rob had said and an advice that I could provide as well, having experienced these stage event.
Yeah,
Um, First of all, I stand corrected, Robert. We always have to ask these questions, and that was good because in the process, I discovered something that I think I would need to reinforce. Coming back to what NowSite gives you as tools, you already have a expanded and elaborated presence for the sake of time. And this is also one of the reasons why I asked, how much time will it take you to finish your marketing asset? Why? Because when we're following a process, that process only really takes in full value when we start clocking ourselves, right? If I'm gonna take forever to build my business operation, forever to build my business process, or forever to react to a client response, then we fall into being efficient. Coming back to also the need of being agile. You woke up this morning to an opportunity that is strong, that is something that you want to capitalize on, right? You have a tool or you have a process that allows you to create specific marketing asset that you would need. In the now side space or now side understanding, you wouldn't need a website for this event. You would be looking at two things, either a funnel or an actual landing page where the offer is clearly outlined, where the contact information is clearly visible. And to wrap up, if you are on stage and you're going to be able to display your website or your content on screen, then that website should also have a QR code leading directly to the payment gate, leading directly to the booking, leading directly to the next intention behind you rolling out this asset. So you don't want to spend too much time on the presentation because you will be the presentation. You will be the one saying and introducing what's going to pop up on screen, right? So keep that in mind. With the specific conversation around this product, which is the 90-day, and the fact that you will be on stage and that you can create a quick marketing asset, go in that direction. Generate a landing page, short conversation with the QR code leading to the product, the payment gate, or the next step in the evaluation. You maximize the fact that you are on stage and that you have this screen, which will be the focus at one point of the attention of everybody in the crowd. I applied this strategy and had people scanning the QR code because that's the function of your QR code. All zero information, I don't need to write it, I can scan it. Very important. And from this point on, if this process was not mapped, then here we go. We are going to start mapping out this conversation, especially in your case, just like in mine, from what I understood, you have a value offer and you have lateral offers, options, right? And all these would bring you back to this conversation. I have a general offer, and depending on what the client will say, I might give him this, this, or this. And for each one of those, we're back into the interest, the conversion, the point of sale again, and the immersion into the service offered. This here approach is meant to have you gain clarity in the process. When the truth is on the board, when the writing is on the wall, you have to hate your eye not to see it. When you're out there in the sun, you can't help but see it. This is what we want, or the mechanics that we want to now have. Automatically, when I go into an exercise now, I have these blocks that are lining up in my head. These are things that I have to put information, process in, and make sure that they equate to the rest, right? Just by probing you in this conversation, you can see that I was able to determine, okay, where we are in this setup process and what we would want to double down on if there's urgency for the next days. And if the urgency is not there, then this is definitely something that we want to set in as a repeatable blueprint. This is our speed.
Okay, so
Mhm.
may I show you my map?
Go ahead. Let me see.
Now this is old, but it's been guiding me. And this webinar was a live webinar, but this is what well, I've made the recording evergreen right now, but this is what I want to update because I've done so much work in narrowing down and getting more clarity on the avatars and who I'm really, the language. In fact, okay, this is even better. Let me see. Hold on. This was yesterday morning. Okay. I woke up and I said to ChatGPT, I said, I'm blown away by our progress so far, but I'm insecure about the one word currency of the program. We're building something people really need, but they're not waking up in the middle of the night saying, I need fitness, right? Or these other words. So this is ChatGPT. Women don't lie awake at night thinking, I need to get fit. they're thinking, I'm tired of feeling invisible. I've lost myself. I don't feel like me anymore. Why am I so tired, anxious, out of sync? What happened to my joy? Where did my fire go? And so it gave me some samples of one words for my currency. And I said, now here's some more cries. How long can I go on like this? I'm hanging on by a thread. I can't afford for my body to break down, but I can't afford to rest. I just don't know what to do. If one more thing happens, what will I do? I know I should get checked out, but I can't take any bad news right now. I can't take any time off, and the doctor won't know anything anyway. ChatGPT goes, yes, yes, yes. And then he gave me this chart of decoding the cries. What are the cries? What are the deeper needs, etc. And then how to reframe it. And so it gave me, you know, a $1 million message. And I was like, yeah, but I like this one word, whole. So it gave me another one. So here's the $1 million message. The 90-day rescue plan is a transformational coaching experience that helps women in ministry, wellness warriors, and burnt out professionals reclaim their strength, clarity, and spiritual resilience so they can live, lead, and serve from a place of wholeness, not weariness. And
when you said
from
women of ministry, we're looking at women specifically in the
Christian
ministry.
women 40 plus.
Okay,
That's
perfect.
But yeah, it did start out with ministers, and that roadmap was the maxed out ministers roadmap, you know, the 9 steps. So fortunately, I was close to these things because I you know, I've been doing a lot of work, and so I don't have to change a lot, but
One thing
but
I would
I
like,
go
go
ahead.
ahead. No, I was going to ask you one specific question so that we stay in line with the conversation that we're having, right? Because again, you did a lot of good work. This is awesome conversation around audience targeting,
Yeah.
right? And catering to them, right? And one of the questions that I want to know if you ask while you were doing this process, and one of the questions that we now will need to ask ourselves when going through this exercise, okay, based on this persona, based on this buyer persona, coming back to what we were discussing, how should I build the billing interaction? Right? Very important, I would say, because we have everything, or we have a good framework for the process that we're following to get all the parts together. Just like me, I said, you're just like, I can see you with in the middle of a room with a whole bunch of Lego parts, blocks. You know what these blocks are supposed to do. You know how to go over these conversation points. And of course, we have a good mind frame of that. Why? Because we went through these fundamental values. So everything that you're explaining to us, most of us in this space will grasp what you were doing, right? Great. Now, there's one added value to this conversation in this presentation is that knowing now that we have this hands-on point of sale experience that we're building, knowing that we have used these specific prompts to map out the audience that we're looking at to influence their behaviors, right? Because everything that we saw a moment ago, for me, at least the way I brought it to my understanding was, okay, I'm understanding or learning how to lead the client in a direction with emotion and already prepare myself for certain objections. right? So we have strengthened the voice of our conversation. We now know and have option to say the same thing, to address the same pain points, the same need, right? Women or nobody, right, wakes up honestly saying, I need to lose weight. It's the solution to the things that keep them up at night. My health is not that good. This is not working for me, right? They wake up technically, and this is how we want them to wake up the day after they came in contact with our brand.
Mm.
I found a solution. It's not waking up asking me questions. It's waking up saying, hey, I think I may have found a solution for this. Right? Yesterday, I came across this platform. It spoke to me in a voice. It spoke to my need. It showed me how I can achieve the necessities. The benefit of that interaction would be me reaching what I aspire to. I read this. I wasn't sure. I went to sleep, had the same questions banging away at my head, and then woke up with the reminder. You found the solution earlier. Explore. Right? This is what we're trying to engineer. What you have done here is laid out the foundation that we have been covering over time. Client, brand, conversation, UVP, how to work on the values that we get. And you have built this solid presentation for that audience, women in ministry. I would be even tempted to tell you, since we know we're talking, and when I ask, because ministry can take on different direction. The ministry for this, for that, for this religion, for this belief, right? You have a specific niche. Don't be afraid to name them out. Name calling. You over there, this is for you. Right? You're in this space. You, as a lot of people in this space, share the same concern, are pursuing the same need. This is why it's so hard to speak to everybody the same way. Just looking at this process, we might want the same service, but the interaction will need to be catered to each one of us.
Yeah.
This is why it's so important, again, coming back to that, what, who, how. What are we specifically offering? Who are we offering them? And how does this process unfold? Right? These simple questions that I've been hammering at going forward, if you start putting them in the same organization, what is the first block? How do I get the what to the who? How get the who to follow the process? You end up, again, adding boxes and expanding each one of these points, right? The whole conversation about the what is what we've discussed for about 2 weeks when we were looking at the branding, the UVP, right? The who came along with that while we were defining our product. That how is what we're looking at here in CRM or in mapping out this approach. Again, on the large scale, we must always remember CRM is client relationship management, client relationship mapping. It's the same thing. I have to have a map. I have to understand where I'm going to be going with my client. The client has to understand where I'm going to be taking them for them to follow. I shared this once. I will end on this note for today, carry on tomorrow. But I shared on this once. I don't know if we all remember this, but there was from my employment days where my boss came to me and said, hey, you know how to do great service. You know how to answer to the client's need. However, you're not guiding them properly. And to demonstrate that, he came to my desk. Before he explained that to me, he came to my desk and said, Virgile, get up and follow me. And I was like, am I in trouble? What's the problem? And we walked around the call center and came back to my desk. And I was like, what's the deal? And he goes, if I had told you that we were going on the walk, coming back to your desk, you would have felt more at ease during that walk, during that trek with me. I said, yeah. He said, well, that's your problem. Often enough, you're so eager to go into resolving the process, the client's inquiry, that you don't lay the plan that you're going to be following. At least setting up expectation. This is what we're going to be doing. Follow me. And that holds true whether you're here or not. Go ahead to explain it. I mean, it holds true. The client has to have a good sense of, okay, this is how the process is going to be unfolding. And it only is because you have thought about all these legs, right? So let's think about also at that conversion points. This is where the money is. This is where our fuel for our need keeps being met. Financial clarity, right? Go ahead, Rita.
I'm just, are you finished with what
Yes.
you're, okay. I just wanted to ask everyone, and if you would do this for us as well, would you bring up your YouTube channel? Can you bring that up on screen?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. And my ask is that it's always an ask. Please go in, and when Virgil opens up his screen, you'll see where you can like it. And
Oh,
the work and look, guys, this is a thank you. I say I'm not from the South, but I live in the South. And it's that Southern hospitality we say that, we show gratitude, and we show gratitude by doing little things. And little things mean a lot. So when we're looking at his page, Virgil, if you would click on a video.
video here.
Yeah. And then scroll down a little bit. Okay, right there. Would you please click on, yes, that thumbs up button? All you have to do, guys, he's got 73 videos on there. Go through and give it a thumbs up. If you want to leave a comment, leave a comment. Where it says more, he has more text of things that may be of value to you. So you see the transcript is there. So not only are you watching the video, you can get more information. Dorea asked about where did she get the slides from. They're in the team section under IMI Creative Lab Classroom under the Now site back team section. I'll call it the back office, but that's where you can get the information from. And so if you would just go through, guys, and just go through the videos, if you're just like them, you've seen them already. If you've been here already, then you've already viewed them because you were here live. And if you haven't viewed them, view them and then just give a little thumbs up. It's free. You can subscribe to the channel if you want. Subscribing just let you know when he puts out another video. And this is true for anyone who is in this market. I think Dr. Lisa has it also. And the Blakester definitely has it. So you can go through and just, these are diamonds that will lead you to millions, if not more. So it is of no cost to us, just a little gratitude. So if we can do that and get those likes up, I would really appreciate it, and I'm sure they would too. Very thankful.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Millions, Rita. Thank you. This goes so much. Thank you. And actually, well, I'll go after Doria. Go ahead. Oh, I
Hi,
was
and
gonna say.
thank you, Rita, for that shout out. Because yeah, I am having a hard time following on because I can never find the information you're speaking from. And so I know where to go. I'm in the team content. I'm under the IMI Creative Lab class. I'm in team content. I'm in marketing and CRM maybe, but it's just I don't know if yours look different than mine. Let me see real
Here.
quick. Yeah, and then I go to yours.
Mm-hmm.
So wait a minute, hold up. Oh, that's what I'm doing wrong. I'm not in the how to, I'm in the creative lab class.
Oh, okay, no, sorry about yeah. I started this one, but you want to make sure we still have the now side icon on it because most of the tool we do is now side. So it's in this team content. And most of the course material that I'm putting, well, the videos are always here, how-to sessions, but
Okay.
definitely follow on YouTube. It helps, and will attract even more audience to what we are doing, more shares. In between the master class, whenever it has to do with master class, it's always going to be in the master class recap section. Okay. So everything that we did in and around the master class, always here. And general
It,
case studies are in the case study and practices.
excuse me. So when I hit it, all it does is tell me to download it. So it
Yeah.
downloads. But then
Yeah.
when I go to look for it again, I have to remember I downloaded and where it downloaded to. So it would be so I guess it's expected for me to create another folder where my downloads are so I can find it because I'm
Absolutely.
not able to, I didn't know that was part of the instruction. So I guess that was the piece I was missing to try to find it because I'm always looking, I'm thinking I can double tap and it will show me what you're showing. So then I
Right.
have to know what the title or what the download is called so I'll know to go to that in a folder that I created. I missed
Absolutely.
that class. Okay,
Absolutely.
so one other thing is please show me where you got the that map.
The map that I gave you is right in this section. Well, no, wait. One second here. Case study. I put them in the
Oh, it's in a
case.
case study. See,
Yeah.
I don't, okay. That's why I just need to.
Yeah.
I
Because
gotta know you a little bit better to know how you're wired, to know where it
mm,
makes sense in your mind where stuff is versus my mind. And
absolutely.
that's the reason why
Absolutely.
we need to come to all these classes to
Yes.
get to know you.
To
Okay, so
keep
where do I go?
case study. To keep it simple, everything that we do, Tuesdays and Wednesdays, okay, are part of our case studies. So you will find them here, case study. When they are ready, case study. Everything that I make a reference to as being part of a master class will always be in the master class recap. Okay. So most of the time, you're hovering between these two, and the rest of the conversation will be scattered around the course library or other information. I'm going to try to simplify this, but the core, the bulk of the documents are in these two, case studies and masterclass. To find yourself, they're all by topics. So for example, asset course, when I say refer to the asset course, you're looking at these titles, right? When I'm looking at segmentation, these titles. Make sense?
So where's the map, the branding map thing?
Oh, this I haven't, the new ones I haven't added recently. So
Okay.
it'll come
I'm
together.
just going crazy. I'm where
The ones,
do I find this stuff?
Over there trying to find something that's not there, huh?
It's not there. Oh my gosh. And that should have been my how-to first question instead of waiting to the end to be like, still not
at the
finding
end,
it.
at the end of this section, what I'll do is, since they're going to be at the core of our master class coming up, I'm going to put everything in here. Okay, so all these maps that we were looking at, you'll have them in the masterclass recap. Make sense?
Okay, great.
Perfect.
All right, thank you. I have a procedure tomorrow, so I won't be able to be there, but I'll I'm so grateful for all this. So I'll catch the recap.
Perfect.
Thank
Oh,
you.
one thing on that note, coming back to that YouTube channel, the 20 next week, basically the weeks of the 20th for Monday and Tuesday, I won't be available. Uh, I am taking a specific training for high ticket product. I want to know exactly what they're doing there, and I have no choice but to attend it. But to balance that out, I'm giving myself a challenge. Since I won't be able to have you come in. I'm gonna try for the first to actually pre-record the sessions, Tuesday and Wednesday. It should be good. Why? Because we're going to be coming from our master class on Friday, and usually I'll do a recap on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Okay, so I'll do that, and most likely Robert will be present. Sorry, go ahead, Robert.
I was just gonna say, there's no need to do that, brother. I will hold down the fort on Tuesday or Wednesday. It doesn't matter. They just need to come into my room and we'll make it happen.
That's it. That's all. So as it is, I'll send when I roll out the email. I'll roll it out with your room link, and just for the heck of the challenge, I'll try to see if I can do it. Because it's the next stage, I think, being able to offer these courses in presence and outside other all of ours so that we can become more flexible at absorbing this content. It's going to change also the format. It's something that was on the table for some time. Just have to come back to it and probably put together the concept. Works for everybody?
No,
Absolutely.
not yet.
And so that
No.
everybody feels like anytime that you're not around, Tuesdays and Wednesdays will always go on unless I'm in the hospital.
Love it. We
I
show
I
up.
I show
That's it.
up all the time, 100%. Sorry.
Love it.
And on that, I yield. Rita had something, I think.
I do. I do. Um, so guys, observe what Virgil does. If you're not a friend of his Facebook, become friend him. You can follow what he's doing. That's what I did with Blakester. And when I see them teaching things, I also see them doing what they teach. Then I'm able to connect the dots and recognize because that's a physical representation of what they're telling us. And if you don't see it through here, and even if you watch the video 4 or 5 times, and sometimes that happens, and it's fine. But wherever you are in the process, Dr. Lisa's a little bit farther ahead in her process of where she is, and she's doing a great job, as with other people as well. But if you see something that you've learned, you're not quite clear, just watch them. Just watch what they do. I'm putting you, stalk them. I'm putting you on blast. Hey, look, you didn't do what you said you were going to do. But, Virgil posted he's posting about his journey. He's telling his story. So if you don't want to know what a story looks like, go look at Virgil's page because today's was very insightful. And when Willie was talking about too bad Now Sight didn't keep him. I'm glad they didn't, because guess what? He still would have been working for Now Sight. He would not be pursuing what he really loves. Not that he didn't like Now Sight, but you could see his energy is different. He's changing, and we get to see that. So I'm glad they let him go, quite frankly. And I yield the floor.
So much love. It's the first time somebody tells me, I'm glad you got fired. And I'm like, yeah, me too. Love it.
Glad
So,
you are where you are, Virgil. We love you. We appreciate you, and you're awesome. And you too, Robert.
oh, thank you. You you you
Yeah.
you you are the fuel for what is happening. Um, I mean, this keeps me up at night in a good way, in a good smile, because just like Rita said, often enough when you put yourself out there, you got to walk the talk, right? Otherwise, people will call you up on it. So it forces you into the same discipline. It makes you aware every day. That wake up every morning is okay, well, future waits, right? And it's a feeling that sometimes can be hard to find, but once that light is lit, it's hard not to see the sun. It's hard not to see the sun. What I shared today, I'll end up on that. I'm sharing true experience now, but these are also experiences that have followed me. For example, before I was with Now Sight, I was doing something and I felt exactly what I wrote then, and I felt it exactly again when it happened with Now Sight recently, and twice. Won't happen the three time. Why? Because it's me or it's us. When things are repeatedly happening to us, it's a level that we're forced to overcome. We have to take that step back and say, okay, it's been times. Two times I heard the call, right? I'm sharing this and I will keep on sharing. And again, it's thanks to the energy and the influence that we are generating together. How many times did Robert say, get that story out there? Right? And at first you look at it and, but then when you apply yourself, you see the results. When you trust the process, you reap from the rewards. And everybody has to weigh the value of their crown, right? Because you are the crown, you are the king of your story. Only if you can bear its weight, only if you accept your own value. And I think, the last boom in my head, it was, well, if you're going to go look for a job, it means that you have value, you have expertise, and this is what you're putting out there. What happens when you start making that work, that value for you? That's it. That's it. If you're good enough for somebody to hire you, then you're good enough to work for yourself, and even more, because we all know we never put as much passion behind the work that we're doing for somebody as we are when we're doing it for ourselves. Right? We go to overtime without even thinking it's overtime. It's more pleasure, Robert. Hours with Manus. It's pleasure. The dance that we're having with AI is based on that.
Look, when you get into conversations like this, I'm on board all the time, right? Because it's energy that I can match and deal with, and I just want to say thank you for those of you that are thanking us. Like Virgil said, and I say all the time to my students and friends, we wouldn't what would we be doing if y'all weren't here trying to learn? We don't know. We'd be doing something else. So we definitely value and appreciate your time coming to this regularly. Get the word out. Get the word out. It's the free training part. At least, you guys will learn a lot, but you just got to keep showing up and taking notes and applying. Do those things that you see us telling you, and thank you again, really from the bottom of my heart. Appreciate each and every one of you guys.
Love you guys.
Thank you.
See you tomorrow. And let's wake up with that. Today's my day to conquer once more. Have a great one.
Bye, everybody.
Have a blessed day, everyone.
You too, Martha.